Welcome to the first podcast of Ajax Fan TV. This is your host, Johan Gutenberg, and with me today I have Metal and Kim Jong-un. And today we're going to start off talking about the performances of Ajax in the first few games of the season. We went all 2-1 in the preseason, drawing twice and losing once. And Metal, what were your first impressions from the preseason?
Well, when I watched the preseason, I thought the team, exactly what I first thought of the team. Like, they are young, they are not prepared, and they're probably going to draw most of their games. But since the season has started, I have to say, I don't know what to say. It's impressive to say the least. It's fantastic.
I agree. How about you, Kim? What were your thoughts on the first few games of the season?
Kind of disappointed in the preseason because they didn't deliver much. A great job for Benjamin for scoring the first ever goal. And when they started the league, they just cruised it. Like, very good.
I agree. Benjamin was definitely the standout performer of the preseason. He carried it through the start of the regular season.
Yeah, and we must say he also won the vote for the player of the preseason.
That is.
Okay, now let's talk a bit about the regular season. Like, it started and we are all surprised about the results, right?
Hell yeah. I did not expect that.
And
very much so. Winning 4-0 against Southampton. I don't think anyone saw that coming. And it was definitely a great performance, and with not dropping a game so far, very, very impressive.
I really didn't imagine that they were going to be Manchester City.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to say. Like, the clubs, like, not that big, like 4-0, 3-0 in the regular season, but a team like Manchester City losing to such a young team is not hardly, it's a big surprise.
Yeah. A team like Ajax that don't really have very good players, it's very surprising.
So, that happened, but who is your standout performer thus far in the season, like in these first 6 games? Yeah, I think it's 6.
Oh, Benjamin and Gonzalo.
Anaylation.
I would concur. Benjamin and Gonzalo have been the two most impressive players to me by far. And I really think that Street Breed really needs to pick up his performances if he wants to remain a starter on the team.
Yeah. For me, it's definitely Gonzalo. Like, he hasn't conceded a goal, I think.
No goals allowed.
Yeah,
in the league, he did concede 3 goals, and
but
in the
league,
in the preseason, sadly.
Yeah, but preseason is not that important. We care about the regular season. So Gonzalo, probably the standard performer for all of us, and Benjamin the second one. Do we agree?
Yes.
Well, I am looking at the average match ratings for all the season, and the best one that actually performed was Dave Mitchell.
Really?
Yeah, 8.75 in the last 5 matches, and on average in the season.
Wow, like, I'm surprised. I didn't realize it. Like, I look at the statistics. I am a big fan of them, but I didn't realize it. Like, they can show you stuff that you can't see. Impressive.
And in his last game, he scored a 9 rating, and Jay Bailey and Gonzalo Diaz both got 9.5 in the last games.
Superb.
Although I think at the end of episode 2, Dave Mitchell only played 1 game, I believe. So.
Okay. Who is your worst performance thus far? Who you think hasn't been that good? Like, maybe if he doesn't pick up his performances, he maybe could go out on loan. I don't know. He could get replaced.
Well, I haven't really been watching the games lately, but like as I'm seeing the spreadsheet, The worst one is probably Colin Ray.
I would say that Frank Roth for sure needs to go out on loan so he can get more experience elsewhere and get regular playing time. And also Street Breed would be my other one who really needs to improve on his
I
performances.
I would agree
They-
with Frank Roth. I'm not 100% there with straight leg. I can his performances are average, but they're not that bad. I think maybe he just needs a bit of time in the team, like get some experience, and I think he could just do it just fine.
I think he's a decent player. I also think that there's probably a couple youth academy players coming up though, so that Street Breed wants to keep his starting spot. I think he needs to perform better. I don't think he's been bad, but I definitely think he needs to do better if he wants to keep his starting spot.
Okay, so has anyone something else to say about the first games of the season, or should we go to our next part?
All I'm gonna say is, if they keep this form, they are gonna succeed.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bit hard to keep your form like that, but they have a bright future. Like maybe in a few seasons we could see them win the title unbeaten. Maybe they could go like the Invincibles. Who knows?
I think that even this season we will compete to get into the Europa League, and hopefully we can make that. That would be my goal for this season for the team.
But
Well-
let me ask you something. If the guys manage to go into the Europa League, like can they manage next season to compete in so many fronts? Like we've seen them struggle for stamina a lot this season, but could next season they compete in 4 fronts: EFL Cup, Premier League, FA Cup, and Europa League? Yeah, it would be too much, I think, but it'd definitely be a success if they manage to finish in the top 5.
It would be pretty difficult, but if we sign a lot of youth academy players and bring in some other players on loan, I think we could manage it. Bama is a great manager, and I think he would be able to handle it very well.
Mm,
Okay. Anything else?
Well, I think we should move on to the Twitter beef.
And welcome back to Ajax Fan TV. And now we will go to Meto with an update on Twitter.
So, in the last 3 or 4 hours, there have been several players having a beef on Twitter. So, to say exactly, the players involved are Sylvain Van Gogh, I think, exactly, Tomo, and Cages is also involved a bit, and of course Tomo's brother, who runs the Monkey Football channel. So to sum up, Cages, I think, posted a picture of Tomo, him, and some other of the lads going out in London, and Tomo's brother actually commented saying that there was a report that Tomo had a fight with Van Gogh on a pub, if I'm correct, and he has been arrested.
Yeah, sadly he was arrested, and we don't know for how much. So that could affect him. That could affect the team very badly.
So Tomo has just been arrested. Was that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he has been arrested. I think he was on probation for, I think he will be in jail for like an hour. That's what his brother told us. At least we don't know exactly.
it could be longer.
Yeah. Now he was having a fight with Van Gogh. First of all, about the starting position, where Van Gogh started in at Cam instead of him.
So wait, Tomo was benched.
So Tomo, I do believe, got mad because Van Gogh's, I know exactly, sports fan here we go. Sports fan started instead of him at the cam position.
And
After that,
Tomo was dropped.
yeah, and after that he did come on to get the equalizer, to assist the equalizer, sorry. And I think he was a bit frustrated with that and just reacted the wrong way. But what do you guys think? Do you think?
Well, I think this is very disappointing behavior from Tomo. It's unbecoming of someone who wants to be the captain. Um, I think he deserves to be suspended for a week or two and miss a few games if this is the way he is going to behave. As far as a sports fan, Sheldon Vaughn, I think he probably could have handled things better himself. Rumor is it that he demanded you start at the striker, which caused a little bit of tension in the locker room. And I really think he thinks a little bit too much of himself, thinks he's doing better than he is. I think he's been all right, maybe slightly above average, but I think he thinks he's great. And I really should just settle down and focus on improving his game instead of worrying about pushing up higher up the pitch.
Okay, before asking the next question, we have another update. Tomo tweeted out that he should be out in the next 2 hours. And the cops let sports fan go already. And we also have Jay Bailey coming and trying to calm things down. And it seems like everything has calmed down. The last tweet at the moment is Jay Bailey saying, "I don't want anyone else in the same situation." Again, bad press equals bad mentality and bad form, which equals sold. Maybe we shouldn't talk about that if we are the bad press. So the rumors, I think, like, what do you think about Tom? I think it was stupid of him, but I think he should be allowed to continue being captain and play, maybe be suspended for a game, but because we don't want the team to lose one of its most important players. At the moment, he's the joint top scorer.
That is true. In my opinion, this behavior is just too unbecoming to continue to give him the captain's armband. I'd rather give it to someone like Gonzalo or maybe G Monster. They've been performing well and staying out of trouble off the field. I say for Tomo, 1 game suspension, then let him play again. He can start at cam. That's where he's best. But I'd say he should lose the captaincy because of this.
Okay.
Hang on a second. These just invited me in. This is Jono.
Yeah, that's exactly what they tried to say.
FNN.
Hey, Jono.
Can I just say that my brother has said repeatedly he doesn't want to be the cam, and he's been stressed out. Doesn't want to be the captain, I should say. He's been stressed out about the captain's band, and he was just blowing off steam. And he took a slight disliking to sports fan to Vaughan, and that's where the trouble started. But I don't have all the information at the moment. But yeah, he doesn't want to be the captain.
Okay. Let me ask you something. So we've said that he went in a pub, had a fight with sports fan, and he was in jail for 2 hours, I do believe.
He's still in the London jail. I'm on a flight at the moment. I'm having a bit of turbulence at the moment.
So that's what we know. We know he was a bit upset because sports fan started at camp. After that, he did come on and assist the equalizing goal. Can you give us some more insight? Like, do you have any information that maybe the press doesn't have at the moment?
No, because I wasn't at the last game that was after the Tottenham game, which I think the incident occurred, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
I'm not 100% sure, but maybe. Okay. Let me ask you something. Is like what punishment should Tomo have? Like we here think maybe he should be removed of the captain tournament and maybe get a 1 game suspension. But and another thing, has the Twitter beef calmed down because we weren't able to follow it completely?
Yeah, well, I haven't heard from him for a while after he direct messaged me saying that they were taking him in for more interviews. He called it interrogation, but he's just an antagonist and he's very anti-police. He was like that growing up in the bush town where we started off as a junior, and where we had a house there for a while.
Um, and again, what do you think his punishment should be?
Yeah, definitely, probably benched for a game or two, depending on whether we're short on players or someone has in terms of stamina, you know. But I'll leave
I
that
think
up
he should
to
be
the
benched for
coach
longer than
because
2 games.
yeah, because it's not my call. My role is as a brother to support him and bail him out, and I'm also responsible for the news channel that
Yeah,
I
we
run.
talked about you delivering the news first at the start.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of trouble getting up and running with finances and being in the right locations at the right time.
Yeah,
So at the
we
moment,
understand.
it's only me and one lady that's taking over the radio show that we have back in Sydney.
Well, there is one guy who hasn't talked really. Kim, we haven't heard your opinion. What do you think Tomo's punishment should be?
Oh, you were talking to me. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Well, three games minimum, because
3 games minimum.
and that should be the same for who
Sports fan.
for sports fan as well.
Do you think he should be suspended or benched?
Either, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But I think they should be suspended because
Okay, a bit
nobody-
rough, but acceptable. First of all, has anyone else something different to sprinkle in? In my opinion, he should be suspended for 1 game, removed of the armband, and maybe benched for another one. But I don't think we can afford to lose one of the most important players of the team. Of course, he is my client, so I'm a bit less strict with him. But I think losing such an important player at that time in the season is not something good. So, and anyone else has something else to say?
Yeah, I would just like to say something to Metal. I don't know if he's spoken to you before. Someone is transmitting an echo here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, as oh, okay. Yeah, that
It sounded as a dub voice. I
person
know
that jumped
someone
in
else
must have been
joined
you.
in.
Yeah. As I was saying, yeah, he's repeatedly said to me, and he's tried to talk to the coach about not having the armband. He didn't want to be the captain from the start, and
I have been informed.
part of the pressure on him.
Yeah, I haven't talked to the manager personally just yet. I first of all want to ease in after the situation, and I'm sure he's going to have a reaction after the situation. But how much pressure? Like, do you think without the armband he would score more, like double the goals? At the moment, he's joint top scorer with, I think it's Zacho Hagen. I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, well, with his junior career that I've forgotten how old he is. I had trouble tracking him. Is he
19, I
19
think.
now? Oh yeah, that's right. He was in the academy at Morecambe until he was 17. So he was there from 15 to 17, and in his last 2 seasons, playing in Cam, he started on the bench and he worked his way into the team. And the gaffer at Morecambe asked him if he wanted to take over the captaincy because their captain, who was retiring, got an injury and was no longer able to play, and none of the other players were interested in it. But he said no, and the captain's band eventually went to the goalkeeper after the team had a vote because nobody wanted to put their hand up, so they thought we'll just all have a vote for who we want, and that's how Morecambe came up with the idea to get the goalkeeper as the captain.
Okay, thanks, I guess. And now, does anyone else, like Q, Anaylation, do you have anything to add to our conversation?
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't quite finish what I was saying there.
Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, in those 2 seasons from 17 to 19, when he got put into the first team, not having the pressure of being captain at a young age in his first professional team, he scored the most assists in Football League 2 that season, and also was third in the goals on the Golden Boot tally in his first season of Football League 2, and Morecambe finished just outside of the playoffs. And then the next season, Morecambe didn't have such a great season overall. They finished down in 15th that second year, but he got the Golden Boot by 1 goal, and was their main goal scorer. So without the captain's armband, he will produce.
Okay, so you think he could run for the Golden Boot? Keep in mind, this is probably the most competitive league in the world.
Well, personally, as his brother, I would love to see him hang a second ever.
Sorry, I think someone else joined and it sounded like we were talking 2 times. Continue, Tomo. Brothers.
Yeah, sorry. So, where was we?
You were talking about, like, I asked you, this is the most competitive league in the world, and do you think he can produce the same here?
Yes. I believe he has. He's shown promise that he can do his bit, and I reckon there's more to come once the pressure of the captain's armband is removed, and and with his friend Bailey there to look after him. Because when he was at Morecambe, he had either me or Maddie. When he was at Morecambe, he had our other brother Maddie, who's the middle brother, who's the rock and roll singer.
Yeah.
And I have my YouTube channel for gaming, as well as running this here service. This here is part of the Hawk Entertainment and the Monkey Football News Network, as part of an affiliate program that we have going with some other people that are working with us in Sydney out of our radio show. So I've got my hands busy, and I was based in Australia, so I'm have to come all the way over here to set up the news network to help report on the news, because we were asked by the bigger radio company that puts our show over the Oz Stereo Network, to go and set up something over here, because there was interest with the Australian boy making good, you know what I mean? And so they wanted us to do it, because when something like that happens, the big radio parent company doesn't want to spend the money. It gets the little guy to spend the money, you know. But yeah, so it's just been a bit of a mess, because Maddie got a gig over in I think it was either America or back over near towards our region of the world in Australia, and so he's touring around that region, and so he got the contract to Ajax pretty much the same time, so he had no one to really keep him under control.
So you're now responsible for keeping him under control, I guess. I think we can move to our last segment, which is the new transfers, players coming in on loan, and the transfer rumors we've actually heard of. So me and Kim are probably gonna be the ones talking here. So we'll see you in just a few seconds for you, a few minutes for us.
And welcome back to Ajax Fan TV. Now we're going to talk about the new loanees that Ajax has brought into the club and maybe some more rumors that we've heard. Ajax has brought into the team Kyle Curry, a striker from Arsenal, and Frank Zappa, a goalkeeper from
From
Manchester
United.
United. And we've seen both of them in action so far. Frank Zappa has played both as keeper and
A striker.
as striker. Experimented with him as striker. That did not go so very well, and I have to question Bama's sanity in that decision. But Kyle Curry, I thought, has done pretty well so far in his appearances. And what do you think, Metal and Kim?
Um, Kim just disconnect, I guess. I first of all on the Frank Zappa experiment. I haven't seen his stats like as a striker, outfield. Bama says he has a lot of green stats, but I think it was a bit nonsense trying him. It was fun, but it was still a bit nonsense. But I don't really understand him coming in on loan because we have very good talent. I don't think he needs to stay out because of stamina issues. Like I get in the perspective of if he gets injured, but he hasn't considered a goal thus far, and you really have to question like, do we need this ex-loanee paying him money every week?
It is a good question. It's kind of a difficult situation for the manager because Gonzalo has played very well, but at the same time, we don't have a backup for him really. If he were to get injured, the problem with Frank Zappa is that first of all, we don't own him; we just brought him in on loan.
Yeah.
And then second of all, he's kind of, I think he might be a little bit too good to be the backup. So then it creates this weird tension with him and Gonzalo. But we do need a backup keeper.
Yeah, Cal Carey now, because you asked me, I think he has been a pretty alright. Like we really need substitutes and backups, and I think he was a fantastic idea. I saw on Twitter he was getting along with the lads, and I think he was a good purchase, a good loan. And maybe he could get bought, like when his loan expires, maybe Bama could throw a bid for him.
I think that would be a good idea. I think he's done all right, nothing great, but he's been pretty good, and he seems to fit in very well with the lads. And I think it might be a good idea to try to purchase him at the end of his loan.
Yeah, I think like in terms of the players he brought in and the players he could have brought in, I would give him a 60%, a 60 out of 100, because of the Frank Zappa loan. I think Cal Carey was fantastic, but I think he could have spent the wages on someone, maybe a new midfielder, because I've seen we are struggling in fitness over there.
That is definitely true. I would probably give him a 7 out of 10. But yeah, we definitely need to improve the fitness on the team, and having more players will help with that.
Yeah, that's mostly a thing that will improve over time with training, like train every week to improve their stamina. Now, I think Kim has disconnected sadly, so we are going to continue without him, I do believe. So let's hop into the first rumor we've heard like this month. Do you want to say it or should I?
You can go ahead.
Okay, so Kay just posted an article by The Sun and Teddy Mandy, who basically said after his early substitution against Tottenham that he wanted to go out. After he did comment on this with that it's a fake news, and his agent Belal said his client's going nowhere. But first of all, where do you think this move came from? Like, I understand he was subbed off, but I don't think that's enough for the Sun. Do you think they know something? Maybe they know something like Bama has said. Maybe the client doesn't want to leave, but maybe Bama wants to sell him. I don't know. I think has been a presence in social media, especially. He has spent a lot of time talking and helping the outsiders get involved. But what do you think?
We can only speculate at this point. I would think when there is this much smoke that there's some fire somewhere to these rumors. I'm not sure which side it's coming from, if it's KG's, if he wants out, if Bama's just tired of him.
I do believe it would be Bama, because Cages and his agent said that he doesn't want to go anywhere. Maybe it's nonsense, maybe because we know it's the Sun, they often post nonsense. It could just be a random article, but do you think there is at least a bit of truth in it? Because it's still too early, like, for Bama to want a player out.
Yeah, it's very early on in the season, very hard to say. I would think it could just be complete rubbish from the Sun. That is certainly very possible. I would think probably there's definitely some frustration on the part of KGS. I know he hasn't been happy with some of the decisions that Obama has made as far as players who are playing and who's not, what positions and so forth, who's taking all the set pieces. But I don't think he wants to leave the club. I think he's just maybe using Twitter as a way to vent his frustrations with the manager.
Maybe. But what do we give this rumor? Do we think it's... Let's rank it. Do you think it's nonsense? Do you think it's mostly not gonna happen? Do you think it has a possibility it's gonna happen, or it's definitely gonna happen?
I would say it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
I would say it probably won't happen. There is still a small chance. Now, we'll talk about... There is another thing I've been informed just a few hours ago, that potentially Magnus, the Chelsea player, if you know, wanted a move out of Chelsea. He hasn't said anything publicly. I've been informed from insiders. Of course, the transfer window has ended and he will have to wait until January, but do you think, like, I do believe he is a center mid. I am not 100% sure. Let me just give it a quick look.
Metal, can I chirp in here, because I actually have a bit more information from my brother,
Oh, great!
who's good
yeah,
friends
fantastic.
with the player in question, which is Lyric Magic Moments. They're very tight.
AKA Michael Magnus.
Yeah, and I reckon if Lyric were to be gone after in the transfer window by the coach, Barma Striker, by the manager, would probably be a calming influence on Tomo.
Do you think
could help with his performances?
Yeah. Do you think he could replace someone as a starter? Like, do you think if he came in, Do you think he would be a bench player, or do you think he would be a starter?
I reckon for starters, he'll probably be happy to start on the
No,
bench. He'll just
I
be
know he
happy
would
to
be
sit
happy, but I
with
mean,
his friend.
yeah,
But you'd have to talk to him. It's his agent. I'm just
yeah.
the
I'm
friend of a
asking,
friend sort of thing.
yeah, I'm asking if he's good enough to break into the starting 11. Not like we all know everyone would be
Okay.
happy to start.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had the chance to get some staff happening to be able to look at this sort of thing. But I am working on getting my business sorted out with the reporting channel. But yeah, from what I've heard from Tomo, he reckons Lyric will probably be a very good impact player off the bench for starters.
So,
That's the information I've
yeah.
been given.
um, well, we'll have to wait until we play Chelsea to know how good he is. Anaylation, do
True.
you think, like, how much do you rate this rumor? Is from the scale we put it, do you think there is any chance it's gonna happen?
I definitely think there is a chance, and I hope it does because we need all the depth we can get, especially in the midfield. We are desperate for more midfielders, uh, especially in the center. So any help we can get there, I'd say we need it. So I hope this rumor is true. I hope it's true.
Yeah, we all hope. I will give it. There is a chance. Like, there is a genuine chance because I know someone in here is really connected and he can make this still happen. And I think he is his agent. I don't know him, but I think this deal has some potential. But we'll have to wait until January and until we play Chelsea because he first of all has to impress the coach. Well, okay. Before ending, we had a discussion here at the FanTV channel to discuss maybe what position we could statistically we need a change, and if I do remember correctly, we came up with the right back position.
That is correct, and I know this has kind of been a crusade of mine, and a lot of other our colleagues in the media completely disagree with me. But I definitely think we need an upgrade at right back. Some people say that Milorad has been great. I disagree. I have nothing against him personally, but I really think we could use an upgrade over him.
Okay.
I've been very unimpressed with him so far this season.
Yeah, let's talk statistically because first of all we saw it on the statistics. The last game he played, he had a 4.5 match rating, and his average match rating this season is 5.85, and the average match rating in the last 5 games is also 5.85. So it's definitely below average. If you had to suggest someone, who would you go for?
I would suggest Oatmeal Gaming from
Tottenham?
Tottenham.
AKA,
He
AKA
is a
Ferrari.
yeah. I think that he would be a good option. Another one is Iggy Max X from Feyenoord. We played them earlier this season. He was another right back who really
but do you
impressed
think
me.
they would sell? Do you think Feyenoord would sell to Ajax?
Probably not, but if we, I know this is just me, but I'd say let's maybe trade Milorad to them. So everyone else seems to like him so much.
Okay. Well,
I'd say maybe we could do that.
we are playing again. Yeah. Thomas.
I would like to chime in here. Although Milrod has not been great with the averaging, he has come up with some good tackles now and then, and I reckon
we are playing Tottenham
the guy
next
needs
time.
a chance.
Yeah, we are playing Tottenham next time, so we will see how good he is. Like, if he impresses there, there's a genuine chance maybe the coach will be impressed.
That is true.
We'll just have to see how he goes in the next few games, if he
Well-
picks up or not.
Okay.
That is true. It is very early on in the season, and I don't want to pile on the guy. I just have been
Yeah,
very
that
impressed.
will stress him out. So we won't give our opinion how much do we think this could happen, because this is our opinion. There is no rumor linking him away from the club, Milrod. For
Yeah.
what we know, he is perfectly fine. So, is there anything else? Like, do you have any other rumor or anything else you would like to discuss before we end this video?
Just to say that this whole right back rumor thing is all on me. So if there's any hate, send it all to me. I understand that it's my job as a journalist to have opinions, and this is my opinion.
Okay. I think that's it for today. We'll probably release another video when the next episode comes out. We will have some answers to questions we proposed today, and maybe Kim won't disconnect on us. So, from me, from Anaylation and Tomo's brother, I think that's all.
Yes, I want to thank Jono for joining us today from the airplane. Thank you very much, Jono, for joining us.
No worries, thank you very much. I'll be touching down soon. I'll try to get some news out tomorrow sometime.
Yeah, and don't forget, we will put Monkey Football news in the description, and there will be another episode coming on there in just a few days, I do believe. So, thanks to Jono, thanks to Anaylation, and thanks to me, because I'm the best, we all know that. And goodbye. I hope to see you again in the next episode. Anaylation, take over and say bye.
Yes, this is Anaylation, also known as Johan Gutenberg, and this is Ajax Fan TV signing out.